Welcome to another QuoteWerks 101, our regular series of short presentations, giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of QuoteWerks. And in this session, I'm going to cover quote layouts. So, hello, my name is Tim Wilmot, and my company, Wizard Systems, we're a specialist CRM solutions provider. And we help out mainly small and mid-sized organizations all over the UK and further afield improve their sales productivity, marketing, and customer service through the use of simple and affordable solutions like QuoteWerks. Now, this presentation will be about 10 minutes or so in duration, just an overview of the quote layout feature. There's actually quite a lot to it. It can get quite involved. And my company, Wizard Systems, we do provide extensive training and help if you want any more information on the quote layout feature. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got a question, pop that into the question box on the meeting control panel. I'll do my best to answer those at the end. And also at the end, I'll give you an update on any latest QuoteWerks product news, latest versions, so on how to get that. This call is also being recorded. Afterwards, we will pop it up on our YouTube channel so you can share it with your colleagues and have a look at all our other QuoteWerks videos as well. Quick mention about Wizard. We've been supplying QuoteWerks a long time, well over 25 years now, and we provide a complete service around QuoteWerks, the product, upgrades, implementation, training, and help desk support. So we're here to make sure you get the most out of QuoteWerks. Okay, so with the built-in, let me just pop into my chosen CRM system here. Goldmine, of course. QuoteWerks does work with all the leading CRM solutions. With the layout feature, let me just call up an existing quote. The layout designer gives you really quite a lot of control over the look and feel of your quote layouts that you send to your customer. And obviously the whole objective of the quote is to convince your client of your proposal, your quote. So you want to make sure it does look nice and professional. So you can choose information that you want to go on the quote, literally any information from the quote. There's also options for linking in information from your contact manager as well. You can do some quite clever things. Now the QuoteWerks layouts, let me just go to these layouts here. Click on the deliver button. That allows you to access all the different layouts in different sections. These QuoteWerks layouts, they're designed to be easily customizable with your company logos and color schemes and line styles and fonts and so on. The layouts can be customized to display or hide, as I say, many fields in QuoteWerks, and users can choose to also show certain line items or hide them as they may want to. You can also bring in quite a lot of information from product information, manufacturer details, part numbers, of course, descriptions, extensive descriptions, all the custom fields also. On top of this, QuoteWerks in the layout designer, you can also implement custom formulas, get them to do quite clever things for you. So you could create a formula, for example, to calculate finance payments or the weight of a total order based on the information that you've got, the line items on that quote. You could also create formulas that might say print out a special message if the quotation value is above say £1,000. Let me just pop into the layout of an example quote, and you can disable this from your users as well. So if you have created quite a nice layout and you want to make sure that it's not edited or amended by your users, you can do that. Let me just click on a quotation here and edit this, and you'll be able to see the layout tool, the designer tool that we use for changing quote layouts. And in fact, this is the same tool that's used by the report writer, the built-in report writer in QuoteWerks as well. The same options, features, and syntax are available to you. So this quote layout, it actually looks a little bit like a report. You just need to get your head around the features of a report writer. And notice especially these sections here, these gray bands across these horizontal gray bands there. Report header, page header, and details section. Basically, anything that goes in the report header, logo, company that you're sending it to, your details as well, that's going to appear on the top of the first page. Anything that's on the page header will appear at the top of every page. So you've got a 2-page quote, then I've got those little headings there: quantity, description, unit price, extended price. That's going to appear at the top of every page. The details section, and typically you might have multiple detail sections, but that's where, in a very simple example, you just have one detail section, which will have the line item details that you want to display. In my example, it's quantity, description, unit price, extended price, and so on. You may have other detail sections for providing spacers or other subtotal information. There are a number of examples where you might have multiple detail sections. And then report footer, basically, again, that's what's going to appear at the end of the report. And again, you could have multiple report footer sections in there for the ease of keeping things tidy. Very easy to insert fields from the application into your quote layout. It also supports drag and drop as well. You can drag these things around, but very easy to insert fields. Primarily, those fields come from 4 main areas. There's the document items, so information about your products and information that's typically in that detail section there. Document headers are ready to do with the main elements of the quote, so the customer's details and any information that's specific to that particular quote, maybe a project number, quote number. Typically they're all in that document header section. Then you've got application, not often used, but then also you've got the contact manager. So being able to bring in other fields from your contact manager if you want to. So quite a simple tool to use and design your quote layouts. You can change your fonts as well. You can add in labels. You can align sets of fields horizontally, vertically, centrally. You can also, as I said in the opening, you can also be quite clever with inserting formulas. So here's one that I created earlier, this little formula here, those handles around it. If I just right click, I can then amend that selected item. It knows it's a formula. So there we are, click on edit formula. And you don't need to worry too much about the syntax there, but that is going to do something if it's over £1,000. But you can also insert your fields in there to allow you to be quite clever with some of those formulas and calculations. So that's the quote layout tool then in QuoteWerks. Very, very simple to amend those quotes. As regards amending quote layouts and creating your own, there are maybe just under a dozen sample layouts that come with your QuoteWerks system. And typically you wouldn't amend those default ones that come with the application. If you're wanting to create a brand new quote layout, well, yes, you can click on that new button there, and from scratch you can create, if you really want to, you can create your own quote layout. Far better though to actually clone that selected quotation layout that retains the existing one, allows you then creates the new one for you, exact copy of the cloned quote, and then there's no danger of you damaging that particular default layout. If for any reason you have amended a default template, you can always retrieve them. QuoteWerks themselves do actually have a number of different quotation layout samples on their website. If I go to their website here, so go to quoteworks.com/layouts and you will see a number of different sample layouts there. You can also see an example PDF. Download that layout file. It's a particular type of file format supported by QuoteWerks, and you just copy it down from the QuoteWerks site and place it in your layout folder on your QuoteWerks installation on your network, and then you'll instantly see that in your menus. The other thing that you can, or we do support with QuoteWerks, is Word documents as well. So if you've got more proposal style layouts, or you've got multiple page layouts, then we do support that. Here's an example here. I just click on edit there. It's going to launch up Word. But that allows you in a similar way to insert and display a number of different fields from the application. You can see in this example here, inserted between those double chevrons, ampersand DH, that's the document header. So sold to company, that's going to, on every page, it's going to pop in there the name of the customer that this proposal is going to go to. So again, an easy way to merge in data from the QuoteWerks applications, and particularly useful if you prefer a Word type format, or you've got more of a proposal, more of a multi-page document that you want to send to your customer. So that is just a brief overview then of the quote layout feature. You do have these different sections here: quote, order, invoice, sales order. You can define these defaults as well. So if you wanted that one to be your default, you could select, just right click then and select it. You can also get quite clever with the look and feel of these documents. Also, if I just preview this one here, you can pop in a picture of the salesperson and get a little bit more clever with the coloring as well. So that's one of the default ones that QuoteWerks does provide. It's quite a popular one we find with our QuoteWerks customers. So that's a quick overview there of the quote layout tool. As we normally do, if you've got any questions around this feature, please pop that into the questions section on your meeting control panel. I can see a few questions that have come in from Kyle. We need to summarize groups of options together. Is that possible? Yes, so there are line item types, and or the line items that go in there, they are of a certain type, so they can be grouped together. Typically, you would do that in Word, so you might have one page summarizing those groups of options. So yes, that's, if I understand you correctly, that's possible with QuoteWerks to kind of force the sorting and grouping of those disparate items. Warren, in your quote, you had 3 lines, but on screen there were many. Why is that? Well, that's down to the way of hiding. So in the QuoteWerks document items tab, there is a way of hiding the attributes of these. So in my finished quote going to the customer, there's actually 3 bundles here. In my quote going to the customer, I'm only giving the bundle name. I'm actually hiding in that example the sub items that are building up that particular item. So you might want this maybe for bill of materials or something like that, where you want to hide all of the intricate details of what's building up that finished product. So that's the example there, where you can hide that or not print out those particular line item details. You're actually working with the line attributes there in QuoteWerks. Hopefully that answers your question, Warren. Nadia, how do you define the default quote layout? That you just right click over that item in the layout menu, and you'll see there a default option for that particular type of document. So you can also do that for orders, invoices, and purchase orders as well. Right, don't think there's any more questions coming through. Just to keep you up to date with latest news, if you do require any training on QuoteWerks or any help, guidance, we can do that as online training. We do have a training centre at Bristol, UK, but if what you want to cover is maybe fairly short in duration or you don't want to travel, we do offer online training options, and we can record those sessions as well if you want to share that with your colleagues. Latest version of QuoteWerks is version 23, and then within the version you get different builds. So build 4 at the moment. As long as you've got, so how to access these updates? Well, as long as you've got an upgrade maintenance program, or UMP, that's normally an annual, it's not expensive, an annual contract that you can get through Wizard Systems, and that will give you access to all these updates as they become available from the authors, Aspire. And in a typical year, we might get about 4 to 6 updates in a typical year, and as long as you've got that UMP, you can download them and apply them to your system. They won't apply automatically, you do need to install them, but they are honestly so easy to install yourselves. Right, well, that's it, me done then on quotation layouts. Just an overview of quote layouts, what they look like, how to access them, the quote layout, just a flavor, just a basic overview of the way of changing those layouts, and also remember the Word layout feature, the integration with Word as well. If you've got any other suggestions for future topics on QuoteWerks, something that you think will be of use to other QuoteWerks users, please contact any of us at Wizard Systems. My contact details, email address tim@wizard-systems.com. There's our other contact details as well, including our YouTube channel there as well, Wizard Systems, where you'll find lots of other QuoteWerks and CRM videos. So those of you listening live, thanks very much for attending, and if you're listening to a recording, thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch up with you on the next QuoteWerks 101 session. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.